What is going on, everybody? Jonathan here with Britt, Flinn. Welcome into the Fantasy Time Game Day Live Show. It is week 6 of the NFL season. Britt, how are we doing today, man?
Yeah, I'm good, except trying to pour through and figure out how to plug some of these holes in my roster, like the injuries and a couple bye weeks. And it's just, it's stressful, but that's what we're here for.
It is quite a week, as we've talked about throughout various shows throughout the week here. All of the players landing on IR following week 5 has sent the fantasy world into a bit of a tizzy here, trying to understand which way we're going to go with players that we can trust on the waiver wire, guys that are moving into these starting roles, these next man up positions, and whether or not there even are such things as, a handcuff for a Justin Jefferson, right? Or a guy that can replace, James Conner in that lineup, because production wise, it's very difficult to rely on a guy to move up and just be a wide receiver 1 right away or be an RB1 right away. You're kind of hoping that at best they give you sort of that flex upside, maybe a wide receiver 2 or running back 2. But week 6, middle of the season, with the injuries we've had so far, there are a lot of fantasy rosters that are relying on some relatively unknown players, it seems like.
Yeah, it's I'm not gonna lie, doing the waiver wire article, I had to look up a couple of the players and I'm like, wait, where's this guy from? Why is he playing? It's kind of a sketchy situation. And in Arizona, especially as you mentioned, Keontae Ingram is listed ahead of Imari DeMarcado on the depth chart, but yet DeMarcado has outsnapped him on third down. So it's really just kind of a messy situation. We don't know what that usage is going to be. Or it could be like that Thursday night game where the answer to Javonte Williams or Jaleel McLaughlin was neither.
Right. Exactly, right? The three-way split snap share we seemingly got there in that game on Thursday here, I think has certainly some people a little bit shook on what to do. Guys, I see a lot of your questions in chat. We will definitely be getting to those. We also have an early morning London game here again that we have to go over with the Ravens and the Titans. So any news that comes out in there, of course, we'll have for you guys as well as we get ready for this NFL Week 6 action. Britt, do you want to hop into questions? You got any more thoughts or concerns here before we dump in?
I will just bring up one bit of breaking news that happened this morning. Not to add to the injuries or anything, but Anthony Richardson is most likely going to undergo season-ending surgery on his shoulder. So if you were just looking for a fill-in for him, have your eyes out for more of a long-term replacement, because it does look like he's going to miss the rest of the year.
Yeah, that is definitely unfortunate. One of the more exciting players, obviously, in the league. Obviously now going down there, but at least it does sort of now set in place, I guess, a starter, right? You can pick up and have a long-term fixture there, at that position. So tough news, obviously, to have here, but good to at least get some clarity. I know we had a lot of questions in this week, and Brett, a lot of Justin Jefferson questions, but should I go trade low for Justin Jefferson? And I was in the camp of not wanting to do that. I did not want to trade for Justin Jefferson because it felt like the reports on his injuries were still kind of rather ambiguous at the time. They said 4 weeks and then we'll reevaluate. Now, yesterday we got reports could be 4 to 6, 4 to 8. And if they continue to lose, who's to say that doesn't mean that they don't play him at all? And then we have to look at the sense of a fantasy football season. He may not come back until the first week of the playoffs. What are you going to be giving up to get a Justin Jefferson? And is that going to even help you get to the playoffs if you have an IR Jefferson and then you're trading away? One of the deals that we got asked was like Devonta Smith. I would rather have Devonta Smith for the next 4 to 8 weeks than a Jefferson on my IR. But there was a lot of people asking questions about whether or not it's worth trying to make some trades for Jefferson this week. If you're someone that is either has Jefferson or could be looking to get Jefferson, is he a player that you'd like to trade for right now?
Yeah, I don't think so. As much as I want to because of the talent, the ambiguity, like you mentioned, of Kevin O'Connell saying, well, we don't think that it's season ending. And I'm like, why would you bring up season ending? Nobody was talking about season ending. Why would you bring it up if there's not a concern that it actually is season ending? Like, what are you doing? So as much as I would like that talent to be on my roster, we've seen soft tissue injuries, especially with hamstrings, kind of linger. Cooper Kupp, fingers crossed, looked good coming back from it last week, but it's not a one diagnosis fits all. So I'm a little bit wary about trading for him.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. He's a guy that I was not interested in grabbing here, just kind of the unknown. And I don't like trading for injured players on principle anyways, because you just don't know how that ends up being. So got a lot of people in chat. Let's get to these questions here and figure out where we're going to go. Jack wants to know the status on Marquise Brown. I know he was listed as questionable for a little bit here this week on the injury report. Any updated news, Britt, we can give on Marquise Brown here?
I saw late last night before I went to bed that he is expected to play. So I would like to know what illness he's experiencing. Like, did he just have like a stomach bug, or does he have the flu or something more serious? That would help me make my decisions a little bit easier. But yeah, he is expected to play.
Yeah, I always hate that way. You don't find out the news, and then you hear it after the game. It's like, yeah, I lost like 8 pounds because I had the flu. It's like, oh, well, that would have been fantastic to know. Information at its finest available to us here in the NFL. Rob says, good morning, PPR. Drake London or Robert Woods this week?
I think I'm going with Drake London. We saw what the Washington secondary allowed DJ Moore to do to them. I know that Drake London has kind of been hit or miss so far this year, but then Robert Woods is not only dealing with a rib injury, but they're going against the Saints, who have a very difficult pass defense. I'm just going to bank on London to finally have a blow-up game today.
Yes, listen, Saints are actually one of my favorite DFS defenses this week. CJ Stroud is yet to throw an interception, but I guess according to Football Reference, he also has one of the highest rates of bad throws. However, they decide to calculate bad throw percentages. So we could see that interception train come through this week from New Orleans. Nicole here in the chat wants to know for week 7. So we're looking ahead, I guess, Britt. You got Seattle versus Arizona, Tampa Bay versus Atlanta, Browns at Indy, Rams versus Pitt, Washington or Giants. So I got to think it's probably one of the last 3 defenses on that board there. Where do you go?
Yeah, I think I'm going to lean the Browns. They've been pretty solid. I know that it's difficult to play a defense on the road, but they've just looked so good. And then with Gardner Minshew, and I mean, let's be real.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I say the Washington is so difficult to trust. The Giants obviously haven't looked good. But if Tyrod Taylor is the quarterback, I mean, is he better than Daniel Jones? I don't even know. So, I guess this is too much of an unknown there. And then Rams versus Pitt. I would agree with you. Browns have been really good all season long, so I would roll there as well. Another question from Rob. Need 2 in the PPR. Palmer, Osborne, or London?
I think I'm going to go Osborne and London here. I've already talked about Drake London and why I like him. Osborne, he's been out there. He's been running the routes. He just hasn't seen the targets because that target funnel has gone towards Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
The game is going to be a little bit windy, but I still expect it to be a back and forth and have plenty of passes. And I don't think that the wind is going to be as bad as they're saying. Right now, it looks like 17 miles an hour, which is like in that realm of being okay, especially if it's not raining. Josh Palmer, I think that Dallas's secondary is too good. I think it's going to be funneled through Keenan Allen, and it's a Monday night game. So I don't like trusting Monday night games.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Again, better options. And Osborne, like you said, he's already playing like 90% of the offensive snap share. So works for me here. Ann Dunn says, good morning, Ann. Good morning to you. I look forward to your questions approaching us here. Vader's chick wants to know Lamb or Hubbard today, the PPR. CeeDee Lamb against the Chargers feels like an auto player to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing about Hubbard, yes, I know that he's going to be like the bell cow back in this offense, but the Carolina Panthers offensive line has 3 or 4 players who are questionable, and the Lions rank 3rd against the run. Like, that's just a bad combo. I'm staying as far away from Hubbard as I can.
Yeah, I'm with you there 100%. Chuck says, good morning. Good morning to you, Chuck. Nicole again with a question. Need a flex, Mingo or Quentin Johnston here?
Ooh, that one's a tough one. I think I'm going to go Mingo.
Yeah.
I think that Johnston is still just working his way in a little bit more than Mingo is, but I don't feel great about either one.
Yeah, I'll say the one thing we learned last week is that when Chark, Mingo, and Thielen and Marshall are all healthy, Marshall was a healthy inactive, basically. Did not see a snap last week. Even Laviska Shenault got on the field over Marshall. So seemingly he only plays unless one of the other wide receivers is out. So we did at least get some clarity there. Mingo, second in targets the last couple of weeks for the Panthers. So I do want to get your take. The report said they're going to simplify the offense for Bryce Young this week.
What does that mean?
Does that mean that Flinn gets 45 targets? Like, what does that do for you this week?
Yeah, I think I saw you posted a video about your I think it was underdog plays and pick'ems and stats, but I think that Thielen is a target funnel. If that is what they mean by simplify,
he's already getting the double-digit targets like every week he's out there. So I don't know
now he's going to go up to 20.
Could it be? He's an underneath wide receiver that's getting peppered with targets. What more simplifications are needed there? So tough situation this week. The reports, the coaching staff basically making it seem like Bryce Young was an owner pick and not a coaching pick is not great for what's going on there. Tom's got a question. Multiple leagues, Gus or Ingram at running back and a flex. Would you play Palmer over either of them? So if you had to pick one running back and then the all-specific running back or Palmer, where are you going today?
So I'm actually going with Gus for the first one because I believe that Tier Tart is out. And he was out last week, and that really, really depleted Tennessee's run defense. There is supposed to be a little rain, I think, in London right now. So really like that run game there.
People are all worried about Mitchell being active today for Baltimore.
Yeah, no, don't be worried about that. That's a backup plan.
Right.
And then I think I would start Palmer just because of the PPR aspect in the next league.
I'm going to go Palmer here as well. The secondary for Dallas they're fine, but they just got lit up by San Francisco last week. Guy Dan is in chat. I'm playing Dan this week, so if you give him any advice, Britt, give him bad advice. Got a good morning from a no name. That's fine. Amari Cooper or Jonathan Taylor flex half PPR. So Taylor expected to play more today. What does that mean?
Yeah, and this is really hard for me because I've had Amari Cooper on my do not start.
So
I guess you go Taylor because I don't trust PJ Walker against a very good San Francisco defense, and that game is also supposed to have some weather. So I'm hard pressed to see if Cleveland can even score a field goal. So I'm just going to roll with Jonathan Taylor and hope that he gets a little bit more work.
Yeah, I'm in a group where you pick scores, like pick a score contest, basically to win a prize. And this was the game that was selected for pick the score. I was like 24-0 San Francisco. I don't think Cleveland is going to score a point there today. They're just going to get shut down. Chuck wants to know flex spot PPR, London, Foreman, or Tajay Spears today.
I'm rolling with London again. I think he's in a great spot.
Yep, I'm 100% with you there. Our friend Miguel, 2 to 3 for PPR, start 1. Higgins, Amari, or Jacoby Myers today. They're going to go Jacoby.
Yeah, I'm definitely going Jacoby. I think that T. Higgins is out there as a decoy. We've seen Zach Taylor do this same shenanigans before where they're like, oh, he's going to be active. And then he doesn't see a single target. And that's what it feels like to me today.
Yeah, listen, I'm kind of I've watched my Patriots play football. They're not very good. So give me Jacoby Myers here. A lot of targets going his way in the PPR league. Ann wants to know Sunday morning question. So Ingram, Murray, Samuel, or Chig need a running back and a flex.
I'm actually rolling with Latavius Murray in this situation because I think that the Bills get such a big lead that Murray's going to get a little bit more work. And then I'm going to go with Curtis Samuel.
Yeah.
The two perimeter, Okudah and Terrell for Atlanta, very, very good. I think it follows the same game script as last week where it's a funnel to Logan Thomas and to Curtis Samuel.
I'm 100% in with you. I love Curtis Samuel this week in DFS as a little guy in DraftKings as well. He's like $3,700 or something. And the numbers just bear him out to be a pretty good play for me this week. Swamp Donkey 12 over on Twitch. If I was Coop, I'd have the Twitch gang classes going. He's 5-0. Bad news is Justin Jefferson gone there. Well, we can help you out that today. If you got any questions, let us know. Good, never know.
Yep.
Matthew's saying good morning. Jacob saying good morning with a question. Hopkins or Myers in a PPR.
Still going Myers here. It feels weird to play Jacoby Myers over DeAndre Hopkins, but
So good.
He's killing it and he's crushing it.
Yep. Matthew with question: Olave or Devonta Smith in a half PPR?
I love Devonta Smith today, especially with DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner both out. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, the Eagles' passing offense went from a stay away to a must play this week. So
yeah,
be interesting to see if that can come through for people. George wants to know Fields or Tua today.
I'm going Fields. I think the spread is too much in that Miami game, and they're just going to run a ton.
Yeah, the mobility certainly helps with Fields as well. You know, if the wind is blowing and they have to, stay away from some of the passing in that game. Unlike other offenses where that means you get 45 carries to the running back, you could get 15 from Fields. So happy to go there as well. AA wants to know in a half PPR, Hopkins, Samuel, or Taylor today, I guess is the question.
Oh, this is tough between Hopkins and Samuel. I think I'm going to lean Hopkins, but it's very close with Samuel. I still don't trust Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I'm not going to do Jonathan Taylor again this week. I want to see him actually get more snaps. Again, wild what Zach Moss did last week. Just like, if anything, kept Taylor a little bit more on the back burner than I think most people would have expected. You probably have to go Hopkins over Samuel, but I do like Samuel a lot this week. Burrows or Fields, and then Puka or DJ Moore.
I'm still going to go Justin Fields here. Again, that mobility and what should be a decent shootout against a bad defense. And then I'm just going to pair him up with DJ Moore.
Okay. Go there. Jimmy says, good morning. Todd says, wide receiver and a flex. Barkley, Ayuk, Wilson, or Spears?
So I'm going to go Garrett Wilson here with Darius Slay out for sure. Ayuk, I want to play, but again, bad weather, not a real heavily pass game script. Right. I don't even think that Saquon's going to play.
Spears doesn't
Spears is going to, it doesn't feel great.
I might go Ayuk anyways. I think I go Ayuk anyways. Just take the better player in that situation. Because I don't know if Spears is going to score more than Saquon. I mean, score more than Ayuk, even if Ayuk is limited. They're not going to run every play, I don't think.
Right.
Half PPR, London or Cooper? We're going to London here. Again, we're avoiding the Browns today. I'm not doing anything with that one. Is Barkley going to play? I don't think so. Did they come out and officially rule him out, or is he questionable still?
I haven't seen them officially rule him out, but the issue with him is even if he does play, Daniel Jones is already out, and that offensive line, which was already playing horrendously, 4 of those guys are questionable. Like, we really want to trust Saquon, who's coming off an injury, with a backup quarterback, with a backup offensive line. Like, no, thank you.
Yeah, I'm with you there 100% here. Again, the just not the right spot for him to be used this week here, especially with the way that offense is going. But Moss doesn't play over DeMarcado or Devonta Foreman. Would you play Moss over those two? I might play Foreman, but DeMarcado's the third on that list for me, personally.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think I'm going Foreman just because there literally is nobody else in Chicago's backfield. Moss, I do like him, but the split, and again, we don't know how much work JT's actually going to get. So yeah, it's Foreman for me.
Yep, I'm with you there. Again, what I also talked about Bender with this is that Donta Foreman's been in the speaking to the media, basically being like, I have something to prove this week that I'm still a like starting caliber NFL running back, and I kind of like that self motivation that he has, because he's not wrong. Like, this is sort of could be his last go if he doesn't make a show of it here. Odell or Dotson today for Kadeem?
Ooh, that's rough. Dotson.
Yeah, I can't trust Odell right now.
No.
Ertz or Komet? This is a good one. I like Ertz today, though.
Yeah, I think I do as well. It's close though.
It is close for me. I think I worry a little bit about the wind. Fields isn't an accurate quarterback as it is, so if he gets caught in some of those gusting situations, Ertz is just being peppered with targets. So another question from the business circuit here: Kirk, Pittman, or Smith pick 2?
Well, definitely Devonta Smith with Reed and
Yeah,
Sauce out. And I think I'm going Kirk
Kirk.
because of that cover three. Trevor Lawrence is averaging 10 yards per target in against cover three. And
You know what's wild this week, Britt, and I said this on the DFS show, and I put them in my one of my videos this week as well. If you go in DraftKings Sportsbook and you look at the receiving yards prop for Christian Kirk and Calvin Ridley, they're the same. If you look on DraftKings, Christian Kirk is $1,400 less. So if you're playing on DraftKings today and you wanted to get some exposure to that passing offense, Kirk is the way to go. I mean, it's very rare you see that big of a price discrepancy on two guys that have the exact same yardage prop. So could be a little sneaky value there, either for betting purposes, taking the over, or in DFS, getting the value there. Better bosses in chat. Jets starting quarterbacks are out. Yeah, we know this is going to be a Eagles big day. So do you play the Jets or the Falcons? I think you got to play the Falcons defense today.
yeah, the Falcons are actually the sixth highest projected defense this week. And they have a decent turnover margin too. Like it's not the best, but against Washington and the number of sacks that they're going to get, I think they're a great play today.
Washington had 55 straight dropbacks last week, which is
insane.
That's a ridiculous amount of dropbacks there. Granted, they were down big. So on Doggy says DJ Moore over under 61.5 yards. Listen, I have him in my underdog fantasy play, but I had him at 59.5. So, close enough. I still think he gets there because he's not a guy that needs to go deep. He had 200 yards last week because the Commanders' cornerbacks kept jumping routes and failing at that miserably, and he was able to take advantage. Siphon here, start one running back, Stevenson or Foreman. Pretty gross. This is where we're at with Ramondre Stevenson this year.
Yeah, Foreman for sure. Yeah, again, the Patriots have a ton of problems.
Yeah,
and their offensive line is also very banged up.
Yeah, no, missing another starting offensive lineman this week that they got back last week. He played one game. And then start two wide receivers, DK, Higgins, Wilson, or Cooper. We're not playing Cooper today. So Metcalf, Higgins, or Wilson. I think we're going DK and Wilson today, right, Brett?
Yep. Exactly. Again, that Higgins decoy just scares the bejesus out of me.
I'm with you. Matthew wants to know thoughts on DeMarcado. Ingram is back. Do we take the shares?
Okay, so my thing on DeMarcado is there's a stat out there when in the 3 games that the two have played together, DeMarcado has outsnapped or outcarried actually Ingram 17-0 on third downs. To me, that makes me think that he's going to be the guy getting the majority of the work. I could be wrong, but I feel like they're going to play a little conservatively, especially with a running back coming back from a neck injury.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's DeMarcado.
Yeah, and someone they elevated also someone to Damian Williams off their practice squad. I don't know if you saw that as well. So we'll see if he gets involved in anything as well this week. Another DeMarcado question here: Ingram, Ahmed. So a trio of backups. No Jeff Wilson. That's a big point spread game. They could sit Mostert and then go somewhere. Would you trust Ahmed in this situation, or would you rather go with DeMarcado?
I actually am starting Ahmed in one league. I lost Jahmyr Gibbs and a couple other people. So I think that this is going to be a very heavy run game script where Arizona might have to pass more. So I'm going to lean with Ahmed.
Sure. We have Justin wants to know, would you play Downs over Higgins? I might play Downs over Higgins today.
Yeah, I'm very, very high on Downs. He's already been getting the targets. And now with Gardner Minshew in there, they're going to pass even more. Love Josh Downs today.
Yeah, he had 12 targets, like you mentioned. Last time Gardner Minshew started against Baltimore, then he had 6 last week. So in on Downs this week as well. Danny Finn's fan. Sorry for your struggles with the running back position here. Yeah, I got Mostert though. Barkley, Foreman, DeMarcado, Hubbard.
Do you just need one out of those? Or?
Yeah. Probably, I guess. Start 2. Sorry, he had a follow up below. So start 2 of those, that grouping. By Chuba and Foreman.
I'm trying to stay away from Chuba, but at least we know that he's going to get the volume.
Yeah, I think I go, and he gets PPR work too. So
true.
I think I go with Hubbard and Foreman of that group. Nick wants to know start 3.5 PPR. Puka, Lamb, Brown, and really, what a nice problem to have.
Right? Oh my gosh.
So sit one of those 4.
That's crazy. Maybe I'm just going to sit Lamb.
I was going to say, honestly.
I hate it.
Honestly, Lamb is probably the guy that I'm going to sit too, honestly. Get Chargers at home off a bye. I mean, I don't know. The real CP3, not Chris Paul, the real one. Jags Falcons defense this week.
I'm going Falcons defense.
My league awards for punt return, kick return guys. Ooh, you'd be a great person to ask Coop a question. He plays in those leagues.
Right.
Anne wants to know Cooper, Thomas, Addison, Pierce need 2.
So I'm definitely going Addison. And I think I'm just going to go Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
I don't like Pierce against the Saints.
Yeah, I agree with you. London or Lamb in a PPR? I think I still go Lamb here.
Yeah, leaning Lamb here. At least we know what that Cowboys offense is capable of. Atlanta's so hit or miss from week to week.
Listen, I love that they're throwing more, and they should be throwing more, but I still trust Lamb a little bit more here. Rashad White or Jonathan Taylor today?
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
I'm not messing around with that Lions run defense.
Yep. Real CB3, the Twitch comments not work. They do. We're just working our way down the list, my friend. We'll hit you up as your questions come across. Laporta ruled out. Who would I start? Conklin, Higbee, Knox, or Auden? I don't think Laporta is going to be ruled out, though, right? Didn't he say he hopes to play or expects to play?
He hopes to play, expect to play, but he is a game time warm-up decision. Sure. So that makes it a little rough with it being a later game.
Yeah.
I think Knox is also questionable. Higbee has been really harmed by
not being back is tough for him.
Yeah. So
K-Dot versus Lions.
Yeah, that's honestly kind of what I was looking at. It would just be a late swap situation.
I was going to say that's probably your best situation because of how that works there. CB3 re-asked this question. We got you, my friend. We got you. Don't worry. Laporta or Ertz?
I mean, if Laporta plays, we're going Laporta.
Yeah.
But is he going to play?
Yeah, we'll find out.
That's the issue.
If you're worried about that, you can play Ertz. If you think he's going to be limited or whatever, Ertz is still in a really good spot this week against them.
Yeah.
London, Palmer, Samuel, Moss need 2 for Ann.
I think I'm going London and Curtis Samuel again.
Yeah, I agree with you. Will wants to know Waddle or Devonta Smith in a PPR?
Devonta Smith all day, baby.
Mm-hmm. Ertz or Schultz for Caster?
I'm going Ertz. The Saints have been kind of tight end killers, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And Schultz hasn't done anything for me this year. Bama be cranking. We got Barkley, Foreman, or Moss.
We can't have Bama people in here after yesterday, guys. No, I'm just.
Did they play Arkansas yesterday?
Yeah, we lost by 3.
Oh, sorry. Barkley, Foreman, or Moss?
Yeah, let's go Foreman. I can't trust Barkley. Foreman at least is going to get the work, and he's going to try to prove something. So,
TC wants to know Malik Cunningham or Mac Jones. Well, let's just talk about this for a second. So Mac Jones is 4 short of the starting quarterback. There's a really good chance they activated Malik Cunningham to play wide receiver today because he was playing both during the preseason, and their wide receiver depth is crushed. They don't have Juju. They don't have DeMario Douglas. They're activating Kayshon Boutte today. They have Devontae Parker, Kendrick Bourne, and then Malik Cunningham's their wide receiver 4, I think, today. Or Tyquan Thornton is active as well. So I think there's a really good chance that Malik Cunningham is a safety play for wide receivers, not quarterbacks. But if Mac Jones goes out there and sucks as a quarterback today, there could be the potential that Malik gets some opportunities to play quarterback. I would have to see what the inactives look like for that game to see which backup quarterbacks are available for New England, because they have Will Grier. There were some talks this week that Will Grier is actually now the number 2 quarterback over Bailey Zappi, the way things have been playing there. So, something to watch. If we go into this game and Zappi and Grier are inactive, then we know Malik Cunningham is a backup quarterback. But you're not going to start a backup quarterback this week. So you're going to have to go Mac Jones. And I don't know. Bill O'Brien claims the coaches had a closed-door meeting and figured things out. We shall see what that means, because you can't figure things out without an offensive line. Will Hayes wants to know Dallas or Detroit defense.
I'm going Detroit defense. That Dallas Chargers game has the highest over/under of the entire week,
Mhm.
and as good as they've been, I don't think that this is the week to play them.
Yeah, it's tough. For me, Detroit, losing Branch in their secondary worries me a little bit, having to deal with Evans and Godwin and that team. But I don't want to trust Dallas against that Chargers defense either. Irvin wants to know Addison or Olave today.
I'm going Addison. They've come out and said that they are going to fire him up. We've already seen him in that kind of deep role, and with Jefferson out, I mean, he's their number one guy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
and Olave, I think, is still dealing with a little bit of that toe. Is it a toe?
Yeah, and I mean, while Carr looked better last week, I still don't know what that shoulder is feeling like with the AC joint. So, Addison for me for sure. Matthew wants to know: do we start sit Olave? Carr isn't 100%. Same question we just talked about. Well, what's your options, right? Like, who are you going to play over Olave? Let us know, and we'll let you know whether or not Olave is worthy of playing. Danny wants to know a sneaky DFS play this week. What are your thoughts on DFS this week, Britt? You got a sneaky DFS play for anybody?
So I'm kind of bullish on Michael Wilson again this week. I know he had that dud last week, but that was my fault because I didn't realize how bad he was against man coverage versus how good he is against zone coverage.
Sure.
And the Rams play zone at a top 10 rate in the entire league. I think he's going to do really well today, especially with Marquise Brown not at 100% and in a game where they're going to have to pass a lot. 3,700 on DK.
One of my favorite plays this week, I'm doing contrarian for the running back position, is Alexander Madison. Again, knowing that win could be a factor today, the Bears' deep run defense is one of the worst in all of football. Madison had those back-to-back 90-yard rushing games 2 weeks prior. Obviously, last week wasn't the case, but a lot of people are off of Alexander Madison, thinking eventually Cam Akers is going to take on a larger role, but he's not doing that. He actually played less last week than he did the week prior, so I think Madison could be a little sneaky of a sneaky play this week where no one's looking at him. Only $5,600 on DraftKings this week. FanDuel Madison is 69, so pretty decent value for him there. Sellers wants to know Purdy, Ritter, Geno, or Minshew.
You know we're going Minshew here.
Yeah,
5K. It frees up so much money.
Minshew or Baker for me. I like them both. I think both are good value plays today. Rob wants to know, since I'm fading Goff and the quarterback coach, do I play the Bucs defense? I do have Bucs defense exposure for the exact reasons that you said down there. Home, off a bye, cheap, and Jared Goff's home road splits are very bad. His fantasy production is way down on the road than it is at home. So I don't mind going with the Bucs defense this week. And if Laporte is out, even better. But yeah, I think they're like $2,600, $2,300, something like that. Super cheap defense this week. The Chalk Eater says hello. Better Boss says Minshew's throwing 4 touchdowns today. We shall see.
I hope Josh Downs comes down with 2 of them.
Yeah. Over under 13.5 carries for Foreman. Over 31 receiving yards for Jonnu. Thoughts here?
I think I would take the over on carries for Foreman. The receiving yards for Jonnu. You know what? Yeah.
He's been going over.
He's been going over, and it's against the Commanders. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think
let's just go higher.
Until they say that Jonnu Smith's going to start playing less, you just have to start trusting that Jonnu Smith is going to be an actual thing in this Atlanta offense, reunited with Arthur Smith and sort of rejuvenating his career as that dual threat tight end. Went to New England, failed miserably, but now back in a system that he's familiar with and producing. This is back to the Olave question. So, DeMarcado or Palmer over Olave if you're picking one here?
No, in that case, I still think that you would go with Olave, but it's not going to feel great.
Yeah, I'm not going to go DeMarcado. If you're not happy with Olave, Palmer is the one I would pick over the 2 here. And Don wants to know Pierce or Algier here in the PPR already playing Bijan.
Oh yeah, then you got to go Pierce because if that game tanks, then you're tanked.
Yep, I agree. Even though it's super frustrating that Algier got 17 carries last week.
So frustrating.
Rondale Moore, sneaky DFS play?
We were talking about this last night. We were discussing it after he got home, and he thinks that there are going to be several end arounds and jet sweeps and things like that, that he's going to get some carries over DeMarcado and Ingram, but Rondale Moore's just a little guy.
I just don't like that's not like a guaranteed thing, right? We talk all the time like, oh, well, so-and-so's out, he could get more targets, or this running back's out, so you expect this running back to get more carries. Like expecting a wide receiver to get more carries because of running back out, it just feels like how many more carries? 2 more carries than he normally gets? He's not going to get 10 carries today. So, I don't know. I don't think I can go Rondale Moore today just on the assumption that he's going to get carries. So, Matthew here says downs equals touchdowns. I do like downs today. Good price on DraftKings at FanDuel.
Yes.
Then Ann wants to know Nico, Higgins, or Dotson.
Oh, God. This is tough because Nico's got Marshawn Lattimore, but I think the targets are going to go his way. And yeah, I'm going Nico. Don't feel great about it, but the other two, I can't.
Yeah, I'm with you here as well. I'm going to see if we got the kickoff here in this game. We have Baltimore with the football at midfield. So any news and updates that come through here, everybody, in this game, we will certainly bring you the highlights. Let's talk about some of the other top news stories here coming into today. As we've talked about, obviously, the injuries. We do have some guys coming back. Austin Eckler is returning today. What are your thoughts and expectations for Eckler against Cowboys?
Yeah, I think we're going to get crushed. I think he's going to have a very good day. We saw it with the Cardinals, right? It was the outside runs that really broke the camel's back in that situation. And Eckler's very good on the outside. Kellen Moore knows that Eckler's very good on the outside. And it's also a Kellen Moore revenge game.
Right.
And I do not feel great about that.
And they've had a whole bye week to
plan
an offensive game plan.
And Matt Sells came up with a very good stat that I was unaware of. I don't know the exact numbers, but basically the week after playing the 49ers, the next week, these teams are like 2-16 against the spread and just 3 and something straight up or something like that. Something very, very, very bad. So I am not feeling great about tomorrow night.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a great thing going on there. I appreciate everybody tuning into the chat here today. I want to let you all know, if you're not already aware, we have a great offer going on right now over at Fantasy Alarm. Our annual subscription package right now, when you use promo code LOCK, you can get it for less than $16 a month right now. It's $100 off our all-pro annual subscription package. You can scan the QR code here on the screen, or you can go to fantasyalarm.com/win. Click on the annual subscription package, enter code LOCK, and you get the Fantasy Alarm All-Pro package for a year for less than $16 a month. That means you get it all the way through week 6 of next season, which means you get our fantasy football draft guide and cheat sheet included for next year. You get access to all of our premium content. Britt, our MMA UFC DFS guy, Mike Iannone, took down another tournament last night. He's now
crushing it.
Now won like 5 or 6 GPPs this season rather, with his MMA DFS content. So if you like UFC, even if you don't like UFC, but you want to make some money, you can just follow along with his playbook content. I cashed last night. I won 5 of the 6 fights that I put in based off of his information. If I went for 6 for 6, it would have been a pretty cool night for me as well. But Mike did go 6 for 6 and took down the hook over on DraftKings last night. Matt Sells, as you previously mentioned, he's a 3-time NASCAR Racer Writer of the Year. Got access to all of his NASCAR DFS content. Of course, MLB, NHL is going off right now. NBA starting up in 2 weeks. So no better time than to join the family at a discount that is only going to be here for a limited time. So if you're not already signed up, again, go to fantasyalarm.com/win, scan the QR code here on the screen, and then enter promo code LOCK when you select the annual subscription package and save yourself $100 off. Less than $16 a month. Got access to everything we have on site, including our premium Discord. Myself, Britt, Andrew Cooper, Howard Bender, the whole team is in there to answer your questions daily. So sign up today. Don't miss out on all the cool things we got going on.
I love it. It's 50 cents a day, people.
Even a better way to we got to get the pet donation music in the background.
No, I literally thought about that. I'm so glad that you and I are on the same wavelength.
Yeah, exactly. It's for 50 cents a day. You can get winning DFS content. Why not today? right? What's your thoughts? What's going on with Cleveland here? The Deshaun Watson drama now. Hearing that teammates are disappointed, the team is disappointed. They expected him to play. Now he might miss multiple weeks with the shoulder injury. I mean, was this the worst investment ever in a player in the history of sports? I mean, what are we doing here?
I mean, very possibly could be, right? I found that it was fishy in week 4 when he was medically cleared to play, but just said that he didn't feel up to it. And now they're coming back and saying, well, he was medically cleared, but he's still not 100% because he can't get the velocity and it's
Right.
something to do with this and da 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 da. It just feels very fishy to me. It feels like he didn't want to try, and it doesn't feel like he wants to try.
Right.
Almost like after Nick Chubb went down, he was like, "Well, screw it. We're gonna lose. We don't have any hope. So now I'm cashing out early too."
Yeah, not a great look. Which is unfortunate because I had a lot of Amari Cooper in fantasy this year because I was very bullish on him. And he was looking pretty good there with Deshaun, but not seemingly the case here. A couple more questions starting to roll in. Kayla wants to know, speaking of the Browns, Jerome Ford, Dameon Pierce, Zach Moss this week. If you had to pick one.
I think I'm still rolling with Zach Moss.
Yeah.
I know that Taylor is supposed to get more work, but you can't put Zach Moss back in the bottle.
No, and you're definitely not going to play Ford against the 49ers. And Houston they just can't run the football. They just don't have an offensive line to do so. Ann wants to know PPR, Elijah Moore, Brandon Cooks, Keontae Ingram today.
Oh, I guess I'm going with Cooks just because of the over-under, but
yeah. What do you think about Gallup playing more lately? Is he overtaking Cooks, or is it just the way their offense is rolling 3 wide receivers out there?
I don't know if Cooks is 100% healthy. And if you ask Coop, he doesn't think that Dak can go through the progressions that he needs to go through. So depending on who you ask, it's a different theory behind it.
Sure.
But either way, Cooks needs to get much more involved. And the Chargers secondary is not good.
No, they're not very good at all. Even with the time to prepare, I don't see that happening. So Cooks for me as well. Matthew wants to know Waller or Thomas. I think you got to play Thomas this week.
Thomas all the way.
Yeah.
You just cannot trust Waller, even if he is expected to play. And then that O-line and Giants offense and just that mess.
I mean, no quarterback. There's a lot of things working against Darren Waller. Well, Logan Thomas is in one of the best DVP matchups on the board. Against the Atlanta this week against tight ends. Ann wants to know Moss, Pierce, or Ahmed in a 1-point PPR.
As much as I want to go Moss, I might go Ahmed. But I don't know. I'm still going Moss.
Moss is safer. Moss is the safer play, I think, for me, because they were playing Cooks. Is it Cooks? Who's the other backup there in Miami? They were playing somebody over Ahmed the last couple of weeks. So for my brain to saying Cook, I don't know.
Yeah, I think Brandon Cook.
Is that who it was? Is Brandon
I think
Cook?
so.
Trying to go like 5 running back deep now in Miami here. So Miami running back depth chart. Let's pull this up quickly. Miami running back depth chart is Chris Brooks. There it is.
Chris Brooks.
Yeah. So
Brooks, Cooks.
Cooks,
just
Brooks,
a consonant swap. That's all it was.
Yeah. I feel like he's been active over Ahmed the last couple of weeks, but like, I don't know. I think I go Moss still here.
Yeah.
For sure. Dan wants to know, we playing any Brandon Powell? I'll let you decide. In daily. So are we playing DFS start throws here, Brandon Powell?
I mean, you could, but I more so prefer Josh Oliver at like 2,500 because at least we've already seen him get some snaps, get some targets. Yeah. He has a touchdown on the year. I feel like they could run out a little bit more 12 personnel in favor of just throwing Brandon Powell in there. So you can play him, but
yeah, and I think they're going to run the ball a little bit more. I know the winds are coming down or seemingly coming down a little bit more than what the forecast was yesterday, but I could see them lean heavily on the run there. Then that 12 personnel plays up, like you mentioned, and getting Oliver out there to help block. Addison or Olave today?
Addison all the way.
Yeah.
I love it.
Tough question here. These two are, Ertz is expected to be the second highest roster tight end this week. And Logan Thomas is in a lot of my videos. So I'm leaning Logan Thomas. Where are you going here, Britt?
Yeah, I think you still have to go Logan Thomas. The Falcons are allowing the second most fantasy points to the tight end position. We saw it last week, just how much Sam Howell targeted Thomas. I know it's real close, but you just got to keep riding the hot hand here.
Yeah, I'm with you there. He is just the way that offense is rolling right now. He's getting a lot of looks here. So we just got a field goal in this Baltimore Tennessee game here. So Tucker getting off the schneid early. For those of you playing either the showdown slate today, hopefully you use the kickers. Both of these guys. Nick Folk's got a couple 50-yarders on his ledger. You got Tucker capable of hitting from 60, and some offenses that really aren't scoring a lot of points. What happened to the spread fire offense we were getting from Baltimore this year?
Yeah, non-existent.
Right?
Just completely non-existent.
Yeah, I worried about this when we talked a lot about it, but I just had to keep on believing sort of the reports. But you were doing the one thing that Lamar Jackson's not great at doing and trying to like emphasize that. It's like, all right, if you don't want to run him as much, that's fine. But let's not talk like we're going to go, the Shogun offense here, 5 wide, shotgun, no running backs, because that's not what Lamar Jackson is capable of being. You want to set up play actions and RPO runs, great. You want to throw a little bit more out of that set, perfect. But the fact that we were thinking they were going to go spread offense here and throw all over teams, we bit the coach speak here. I think a little bit more than we probably should have.
And then you look at the personnel that they have too. I mean, you've got Bateman, who has never been healthy.
Yeah.
Odell Beckham, who is old and has not been healthy in
no
2
knees,
years.
Yeah.
Then a rookie in Zay Flowers. Like, how are you going to run this 4 wide without the correct personnel?
Your best pass catcher is your tight end. So, what are you exactly? So, once again, we talk a lot about coaches and reports and schemes and personnel fits, and there was a time this offseason where Lamar might not have been the quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens, and so maybe that was a little bit that had to do with the play here. So we'll have to wait and see. We almost got Baltimore off the field there. We got a pass interference call for Tennessee, so they'll get a first down. Continue their drive as it goes. A couple more questions. Kristen here wants to know Waller or Schultz. I mean, I don't even think Schultz is rosterable, honestly, at this point. I mean, last week, fine, he got through, but week to week basis, I don't think you can play Schultz too much. So, do you play Schultz against the Saints today? Do you hope that Tyrod just throws to Waller 30 times? Like, what are you hoping here?
I mean, I'm rolling with Schultz. I think I have more confidence in the targets there than I do with Waller and the Giants offense, but neither option is great.
No.
But Tank Dell, he's not expected to play. When he went out last week, I think Schultz got like 10 targets.
Sure.
So at least the targets may be there for Schultz.
We'll give it a go here. Again, I don't like it's not a great spot for either, but I think the way you made a good point there, Britt. You take away one pass catching option, someone gets more looks. So Cooper or Palmer? I think we're on Palmer in that situation, and then Thomas or Palmer.
Gonna go Palmer on both accounts, I think.
Yeah,
I don't.
And tough pass defense by Houston this year. So
yeah.
I agree with you. Guys, again, if you have any more questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. Britt and I are here for a couple more minutes to help you all out. But after our show, go tune into SiriusXM, listen to Bender and Coop break down today's slate for the next hour. And then after that happens, make sure you come back here to the Fantasy Alarm YouTube channel. Myself and Andrew Cooper taking you through 11 to 12, getting you with all of the latest inactives. Some notable inactives that we already have that we know about here, Britt, of course. Justin Jefferson on the IR, Devin Akane, Khalil Herbert on the IR as well. We know that Miles Sanders has already been ruled out. Tough go for Miles Sanders. Just hasn't been healthy all season long, and then picks up a shoulder injury to boot last week, knocking him out of this week here. Roshan Johnson has a concussion. We know Deshaun Watson's already ruled out. Zay Jones is out again, opening up some more snaps there for Christian Kirk. For the Patriots, Juju Smith-Schuster, Demario Douglas are out. We know Daniel Jones is out. Jeff Wilson is not going to be active for today. So some guys that we were wondering, some guys that we know about, opening up some more opportunities here this week for some players.
Yeah, it's definitely very difficult to try to fill holes and plug holes, especially at this point with bye weeks and everything else going on. And there are a lot of late games that we
Yes.
just don't know. So along with the inactives, you may have to do a late swap.
Well, that's it. Definitely want to have some players available on your bench. Don't lock in your your flex play with the 1 p.m. You want to be able to give yourself a little bit more of an opportunity to get creative. In this Lions Buccaneers game, just kind of scrolling through some player props here. Josh Reynolds receptions props at 2.5. I know Tampa Bay has the third best pass defense per DVOA, but for a guy that has been targeted as much as he has and as productive as he's been this season, Britt, does 2.5 feel like suspiciously low for you? Like, is it a trap play? Would you take the over? What are your thoughts on Reynolds receiving prop today?
Yeah, 2.5 does feel really low to me. But then again, you mentioned the home road splits for
Yeah.
Jared Goff. And I think it's all going to depend on whether or not Laporta plays. If Laporta plays, then Reynolds just might be out there as a decoy. And it does feel a little trappy.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think that I looked at it and I immediately was like, oh, like this isn't obvious. And I'm like, sometimes the obvious plays aren't the easy plays. I think if Laporta gets ruled out, I might have a little bit more interest there, but it definitely, again, a guy that has been as productive as he's been this season for only need 3 catches to hit the over feels low. Rob wants to know in DFS, Kamara or Kenneth Walker today. Kenneth Walker gets the Bengals matchup, and Kamara has Houston.
Yeah, this is really tough for me. I don't know their salaries right offhand. I would
Yeah,
just say play whoever's cheaper because they both have very good
yeah.
matchups.
Let me pull it up for you here because I do think that they're pretty close in salary in that mid 6K range. Let's see here. Kamara is 68. Kenneth Walker is 67. So right next to each other. Kenneth
Ugh.
Walker's lesser rostered by a good amount. If you go to our DFS draft percentage forecaster over at FantasyTime, which comes as part of that All Pro subscription package, we have Alvin Kamara sitting at almost a little over 17%, where Kenneth Walker is under 5% rostered this week. So if you want to get a little different in your DFS contest, Kenneth Walker could be the way to go again. Home off a bye, right? Seattle's at home today, so good opportunity potentially for them there. Matthew wants to know Madison and Osborne. Hate playing 2 in the same team, but Palmer, Pearson, Waller would the other options be. So would you rather play Madison and Osborne or swap out a player for the group below?
I think you could swap out Osborne for Palmer, but I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? I'm a little
I would
iffy.
consider Palmer for Osborne. Again, I'm probably taking too much into account the wind here. But Osborne doesn't feel like a possession receiver type guy. Someone that probably needs to stretch the field a bit more. So I worry a little bit that he's not as involved with Addison and Hawkinson still kind of dominating looks there. So give me Madison and Palmer, Matthew. If you want to make the swap, I'm fine with that. And then Ann says, sorry, one more. Don't be sorry, Ann. I always ask your questions. Ertz, Thomas, or Pearson PPR?
I think I'm leaning Ertz with the targets.
Ertz for me as well. We got a red zone here for Tennessee as well. Another pass interference call. So Tennessee is moving down the field on penalties, which is fine. Doesn't matter how you get down there as long as you get down there. We'll see if they can get some points in here, whether it be touchdown or field goal. But looks like Tennessee's moving in for a score. Mile High Luke wants to know in the FFPC, Reynolds or Nico?
I think I'm still going Nico. I don't think Reynolds gets enough. I know that Nico has Marshawn Lattimore and it's going to be tough. But again, with Tank Dell out, I just think that Nico's going to see enough Collins he's going to see enough targets that he gets it done.
Yep, I am in agreement with you there as well. I think that's the way I go. Guys, again, make sure you tune into the FantasyTime show over on SiriusXM starting up in 5 minutes. And then come back here at 11 a.m. Eastern. Coop and I are going to take you guys up through the inactives. One last question here from Chris. Devontae Adams or Jacoby Myers this week if you're not going to play Marquise Brown. Or if you had to pick one of the 3. Adams, Myers, and Brown, I guess.
Oh man, yeah, that's tough. Play Devontae and Jacoby. They've
Yeah,
both been doing very well.
I'm going to play them both against the Patriots here as well. So good luck, everybody, in week 6. And come back here at 11 a.m. Coop and I will take you through. Go listen to Bender and Coop on XM right now, and we'll catch you all later.